Hey there guys, how's it going? Welcome to a brand new video. In this one, I'm going to be showing you off the place I've been using for my solo base location on the unofficial servers. Now, I wasn't sure about making this video because I've actually really enjoyed this spot. I've managed to have no one disturb me. Don't get me wrong, this isn't an absolutely packed server, but there are multiple tribes around the area I'm in. None of them have found me, none of them have seen me, so rather than just keep it to myself, wouldn't be doing my duty if I didn't share with you guys location, what I've managed to do with it, because this is turned from a spot I would have been like, it's really too small and you can't do anything here, not a great location, to actually this can be an area where you can get some stuff done. It's all about not being found for this build that I'm going to show you. Also, of course, it's really helped that I've had the Structures Plus mod, and also the things don't have clipping on this server, so that has made a big difference. So you're going to struggle to do what I've done exactly, but I think there's going to be a way that you could do it, and I'm actually going to try and do it on official, or at least test official. So first of all, where am I? Of course we're on Ragnarok, but we are right here in the south, between the Scorched Islands and the main Scorched Desert area. This is a decent location. Obviously you've got all the Scorched stuff to the left and right of you, good for getting rock elementals and all the things you'd want from Scorched, and we're also not too far for some mainland area where you can get your Argents, your regular dinos, your Vexes and all that stuff. Paste is just a little bit north there if you don't want to make your own paste, over near the green op. So a decent location. But really, when you're playing solo, it's all about not being found. If you're a solo PvP player, you're probably going to be used to the scenario. You just go on a either booster or official server, have a mess around until you get found, and then you normally get wiped by the bigger tribe. So it's about how much fun can you have and how long can you go without being found. So this location, as you'll be able to see, there's no sign here that there is anyone here whatsoever, unless you really have a good peek in. You can see there, I've made sure that those entrances are clear. Obviously you have a peek in at the right angle, you're going to start seeing some stuff, but I did get rid of a couple of rocks here. That was actually a bad decision. I did that so I could get something a little bit closer to base. I shouldn't have done that because I actually figured out a solution for the problem that I had. But you want to maintain as many of those rocks there and here at the back as possible, and it gives it that kind of untouched look, which is ideally what you want. Now if you do want to expand, it's actually not the worst location here. Obviously land dinos, it's not super easy for them to get people up. The major downfall if you're going to have a proper base here, in my opinion, is you are in the sea. Obviously if you're next to the sea, you are very susceptible to being attacked by rafts, and rafts can be super annoying because they're like mobile bases, and they can, you know, go all around your base. So you'd want to try and protect the sea as well if you could do that. You did decide to build on top. Now, I did need a berry gatherer. It's the only thing I was really missing here. And if you're playing on not 100 times boosted, you probably are going to need a berry gatherer. So I'll show you how I've got around that problem, because obviously you can't get a berry gatherer in there. Just flyers, really. Obviously, there's some dinos, like a Thylaco, that could go in there and whatever. But as you can see, look around. It doesn't look like I do have a berry gatherer, but this is my little secret weapon. This stego is actually my tamed stego. Just put your stego on wandering, take the saddle off, make sure you put the saddle inside, because obviously the saddle on it is going to be very obvious, and whenever I want to use this thing, I just pop the saddle on, take it over to the mainland there, or even I can just get it up here if I actually walk it around the side, and just farm some berries. So that's a nice way to actually have something. Maybe you want a stego collection. It might look a bit suspect when you've got like 10 stegos walking around, but for what it is, it's not bad at all. So I'll show you what I've done inside here. We'll go through what you'd call the main entrance. Now, I've got to reiterate, I don't know if you could do this or even get anything close to this without Structures Plus and no collision, but obviously I do have those things, so I've made the most of them here. So you can put foundations down here. I'm pretty sure this is 6 times damage. I haven't tested it. It would be ridiculous if it wasn't, but that's just what happens when you get into caves. Ideally, this is not the best cave ever because you can get rocket ran quite easily. Rocket running is just where people sprint in, and as long as their shield or whatever can survive getting to here, they can just blow a rocket and they'll blow all of your turrets. So really, this is about not being found, but there's not too many other places to go. You've really got to go to a cave if you want to not be found. Some people don't know about rocket running. Some people just struggle. They can't be bothered. They don't have the shield. They don't have the time. So it's not completely silly to actually have turrets up. Now I've managed to get some obviously hatch frames in there. As you can see, there's some no clipping going on there, so it would be much more difficult on official, but the idea here is generally to have as many turrets as possible shooting the target all at the same time. Last thing you want is for them to like pick off the turrets individually. You want that if they do get to here, they're being shot by like as many turrets as possible, and that's what I've tried to do there, and that's why they're all in like one line, and the same on the other side. So let's just go to the other side. I'll show you I've got something similar. I do have some like a different angles for if people did get in, but as you can imagine, if you got to here, this wouldn't be too much of a fun place to be, and even from say this distance you are going to get hit by quite a few of those. Obviously I've got heavy turrets here. They're much more easier to make than normal turrets, well, than heavy turrets are on official. I've even managed to use a bit of the space there to have some pteranodon storage. Didn't really plan on having this many pteranodons, but the breeding is super quick on here, so I decided to just keep throwing them up on the top there, and to do so I've just thrown some ceilings on the hatch frames and so on. You could continue to do so. I don't really like doing that. It does block line of sight, but it's just something to think about. Now this is open plan. I think this area is probably too small to actually have a closed off base, and the whole point really, if you are going to have a cave base, is that the cave is your protection, and you know, not actually the structures themselves. The structures in here are very weak. Don't really need to say too much about the building here. You probably wouldn't be able to get an industrial forge around here unless you put it over in one of the corners. But then you put it in those corners and you're going to probably be a bit more obvious from that line of sight. But you know, if you get to that stage, you might not actually care about that. You could have multiple refining forges on this level, and you could make use of the top level as well. So I think you could have everything you need in here. Obviously I've got the luxury of having a few more things and a bit more space than you would have, but for a solo player this is really not a bad outpost at all. Again, the foundations, you would probably have to do pillars, because if you just put normal foundations down, they're actually too low to put anything on, so you'd have to do pillars and then foundation or ceilings on, and then obviously walls protecting them. Wouldn't really be a massive issue, to be honest. Like things like that aren't really too much of a worry. A cave, if you were building a proper base, obviously you would not want to build like that, but this is a cave hideout, so it's a little bit different. There's room for a vault in here. I think this is the same size as a normal vault, even though it has more slots, because it's obviously on a unofficial server. And I've even managed to get a Quetzal in here. Now if you haven't spotted it already, I'm like, Jay, where's the Quetzal? Well, bada bing bada boom, son, it's right up there. Look at that one, absolutely beautiful hiding spot for the Quetzal. And the Quetzal isn't quite as annoying as some other dinos. Now you might be able to have some of your other flyers up there as well. Argents, maybe a wyvern or two, I don't know, potentially. But I didn't actually plan on having a Quetzal here, but because it's classic flyers and the stats are boosted, you can see it's got like over 200,000 health. I've put all its levels into health, so maybe at some point I'll be able to use the Quetzal combined with my rock elementals. Now you're going to be saying, Jay, I mean, this is good. You've got like a stego, that's not bad. You've got some flyers, that's not bad. But what are you going to use to soak? Well, obviously, apart from the Quetzal, but on a normal server, what are you going to use to stoke? Well, I do have my stego, but I've actually got another trick up my sleeve. Now, the downside of this area is, of course, that you are near the water. It is a bit of a downside. I mean, not so much a downside if you like the sea, but turret rafts are going to be an issue when people come to raid you. But a plus side of that is, if we have a little look-see down here, what have we got down here? We've got our rock elementals in the water. So, oh geez, they've gone for a bit of a walkies. I had more than this, but I'm sure they're going to be around. So yeah, these are on neutral. I do have more. I'm going to have to go for a little mission to try and find them, I think. But yeah, this is my rock elemental. You can see it's just chilling here out in the ocean, absolutely loving it. So you can put them on passive. Might be a problem for sharks and whatever, but obviously I've put them on neutral, and I've come to the problem that, oh my god, you should actually, what I should have done is built a little structure around them. That would have been a much better idea. But as you can see, I didn't build a structure around them. But if you built a structure around them out here, that would stop them escaping. Just some dino gates around them would be fine, and putting them on neutral. And actually, if I go find my other rock elementals, that's what I'm going to do. So that is one plus point of being in the water, is you can actually hide your rock elementals out in the water. So that's actually going to finish this video. It's not like a super long video. I just want to show this location, show what you could do with it, its strengths and its weaknesses. And I will be continuing to look for more locations and what you can do with that. If you would like me to see me actually try and do this either on official or at least like test out how you can build on a no clip server without the well, a server that does have clipping on with without all of the S Plus stuff, then let me know in a comment down below. But that's it for this video, guys. Got loads more for you to check out if you want to do that. There's gonna be some coming up here at the end of the video. But that's it for today, guys. I will see you all next time.